ladies and gentlemen, I will start off with a few questions right now. And if you do have any questions, we'll open up the panel for perhaps one or two questions from the audience as well. So with that, perhaps I will get started now with Mr. Tisum Jayasuriya, who is, as you know, the chairman of the Sri Lanka Convention Bureau. Under your leadership, Mr. Tisum, we have observed significant advancements in Sri Lankan MICE tourism, especially the regional development. You have had a lot of focus on the regional development. Can you please share with all of us what are your plans for the next step in this journey?
Yeah, it's nice to hear that. I mean, MICE has developed under my leadership. So, okay, jokes apart. So what the first strategy was, before we started all our MICE events in certain cities, we started with training. What we realized was, before we go promote the sector, that the industry should be prepared, especially areas like Jaffna. We all know it just opened up. International airport started daily flights after 3 decades, so the staff has to be prepared. So that's what we did. Then we took the MICE Expo there at Jaffna edition, and now we see results. So likewise, we have identified certain cities. Southern Belt, of course, they're well experienced. There are star-class hotels, so there's nothing much to be trained. But we still host training programs. Even a few weeks ago, we had a few training programs to gear them up to be ready after the MICE Expo. We know that there will be business coming in. So likewise, we will continue to do our regular training program and host MICE Expos in our respective identified cities.
All right, thank you for sharing that with us. Well, we also have with us today Mr. Chalaka Gajababu. He is the chairman of Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau. And my question to you, Mr. Chalaka, is Sri Lanka is currently witnessing an increase in tourism arrivals, and we especially have contributions from MICE, from cruise, as well as the sports tourism segments. Could you share with us your expectations on the upcoming season in terms of tourism growth?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, thank you, Tisum, for organizing this great event, and congratulations to Convention Bureau as well. Let me start. We are making an amazing comeback after 5 years. 2018 was our best year of tourism, where we had 2.3 million tourists coming into Sri Lanka. We had a civil war for 30 years, and after that, we did the best year possible in 2018. But then, certain issues like the COVID pandemic, the economic crisis, drove us back in terms of tourism. 2 years into our delegation under the Honorable Minister, we made an amazing comeback last year with 1.5 million, which was our target. We just went short of 10,000. This year, our target is 2.3 million, which was the 2018 figure. But the way we are going with the rate, we will most probably cross that 2.3 million as well, going up to 2.5 million. There are a lot of projects happening here. As you know, we have launched the first phase of the global campaign last December. It's happening, and a lot of influence programs, a lot of media programs, a lot of trade fairs we are doing. Then we are doing another campaign called Seeing is Believing. Because of the red letters that we had all over global media, we wanted people to come and see what really Sri Lanka is, not where we 2 years ago with the petrol queues or the medicine queues or whatever. You have to come and experience. None of the leading networks won't show empty petrol queues or empty medicine queues, because there are no more, because that's not news. Getting media sensationalism is very easy. Positive media, there's not much to show. But so we have now brought in about 200 media journalists into Sri Lanka with bloggers and bloggers, and we are hoping to continue that as well from most of your countries, the key markets, with India, China, Russia, a lot of European markets as well. So we want to go ahead with it. I think with all 4 institutes together, along with the ministry, we can achieve that target.
All right, thank you very much for sharing that. We will move on to the next question, but perhaps after that, I will open the forum. If you have questions, you can keep that ready. So my next question is to Mr. Shiranta Peiris. Mr. Shiranta Peiris is the chairman of the Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management. So Mr. Shiranta, now Sri Lanka is renowned for its exceptional hospitality, for its resilience, for its Sri Lankan smile. Now you work very closely with our next generation at the Institute. So do you have any thoughts for us into how you envision the future of Sri Lankan tourism, especially since you're working with the next generation?
Thank you, Krishna. My congratulations to my friend Tisum and team for that. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sri Lanka. So to answer to Krishna's question, hospitality is in our DNA. And I firmly believe that we don't need to train people in customer service. Because customer service is not a department, it's a philosophy. And that's what we practice at Sri Lanka Institute of Hotel Management. What we focus is the changes as we move on. The customer expectations change, technology changes, generations, as Krishna said, changes, and we try our little best to be current. And we incorporate all these changes in the student curriculum to ensure that they leave the hotel school and they're able to not only meet but also exceed guest expectations. And also, the current or the latest generations, I would even go back to the millennials. They are a spoiled generation or spoiled generations. If you're working with millennials, I'm sure most of you, if not all of you do. Perhaps you have some of them in your own homes. I have two. We are very famous in criticizing the current generations. Well, they're not serious like we were. When I was that age, when I get late to work, I get off the bus and I run. But these guys don't care. They take their own home time. So on and so forth. And we are quite famous for that. You think they care? They don't. Why? Because we have failed to understand them. The moment you understand these two generations, you connect with them beautifully. And they will give you everything possible. And that is where you start building high-performing teams with these two generations, and also where you build and instill discipline in a hotel school that we practice. And our main aim is to support, our mandate is to support the local industry, but of course we cannot stop people going abroad. And we are proud as the Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management is the leading hospitality training institute in Sri Lanka and celebrating 60 years in training and development. So there is a lot that we are doing, we have to do, and like I mentioned, the current constant changes, the trends, the generation, all that is understood, and we do everything possible to also make these kids, this young generation, understand their scope, career path, and how they should achieve their goals. I mentioned that they're a spoiled generation. It's not that they got everything they wanted, because they need quick fixes. Similar in their career progression, one of the first questions when they sit in hotel school is, excuse me, ma'am or sir, how long do you think it'll take for me to be a hotel management? They haven't even completed the course. So you need to educate them. Like I always ask people, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So that's the journey. That too we teach them. For them not to rush and knock their head against the wall, but to win the marathon, not the 100-meter dash, as I always say. So I can go on and go on. I know the drum sets are behind me. You're waiting. So, but you would have to ask me anything that I know in education and hospitality management. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shranta. Yes, indeed. I think we resonate most strongly when Mr. Srinanda said that in Sri Lanka, especially, customer service is not a department, but it is a philosophy, and I hope all of our foreign guests will experience that philosophy for themselves when they see our Sri Lankan smiles. Well, before I move into the last question, which will be for Mr. Krishanta here, do we have any audience questions? I did see a hand right there. Yes, so we will make sure we get a microphone across to you. So let's have microphone going. Please raise your hand so that we know. Yes, all right. If you like, you can introduce yourself. You can tell us which country you're coming from as well.
My name is Ashok Usama. I'm from Bangladesh, from the Travel Writers Association. 2 years back, we had a chance to visit Sri Lanka, the support of the Sri Lankan government, and you'll be happy to know that 6 people came from our association, travel writer, bloggers, and photographers, and we made more than 40 write-ups about Sri Lanka. And it really helps many people read and enjoy the article, and they travel to Sri Lanka. Actually, this is not a question. We are really happy about the invitation for the MICE program, and your immigration, the visa is very quick. It takes like 1 hour. But the thing is, last year when you came, it was like $20 the visa fee, but now it is like $50. So, being a SAARC countries, I will request if there is any opportunity to reduce it or reconsider it, that will be great. Thank you very much.
Visa, very interesting subject these days, hot news. I don't want to comment on it long, but we are working on it. Honestly, yes, there was a conversation today as well with the relevant authorities today in the morning. Myself and Shiranta, along with our Priyanka chairman, was there. Yes, there's a strong case. We are working on it. I think give us about 2 weeks, correct me if I'm wrong, Shiranta, that was we discussed. We are having some negotiations going on. I can't give you a final answer right now. Yes, for SAARC countries, and our Honorable Minister was looking at 67 countries altogether to work on the free visa. But then all of a sudden this came about, I don't want to go into details because like Shiranta said, we are getting ready for a happy evening. So I think Ministry is going to be here tomorrow as well. So maybe we can have some good news when he's here. Thank you.
Do we have further questions from the audience? Yes, right here. So we'll make sure we get you a microphone. Yes.
Hi, I'm Payal Sani from India, Delhi, from the Travelings magazine. So I wanted to understand that what is the percentage of Indian traveler to Sri Lanka year on year, and is it and which is the #1 country, like from which country the people flow the most, and what will it take to make it a #1 destination for India, because we believe this is the most beautiful destination, but still a lot of work needs to be done to have a recall value.
Yes, India is #1. Of course, India is our big brother next door. That's where we first went when we were in trouble, when we took over 2 years ago for a B2B session. Even in your country, people who have visited so many times, they were asking whether we have enough food to eat. Of course, look at us, we have enough food to eat. So that was a good enough reason for them to come back. That's why we had the Thai convention last year. We had, I don't know whether any of you were here, we had 650 delegates led by our good friend Jyoti Mahal. That was here last year. It was a very good event, and India is #1. Yes, there's a big fight, not a fight, a good healthy fight between India and Russia. There's no problem. China is coming up very strongly because China, don't forget, China opened only in April last year. Going along with it, then China is now back to #5. Our traditional markets have always been from UK, France, and Germany, and of course other European markets are coming in strongly, mainly due to influence programs, especially Poland and Netherlands for the first time ended up in the top 10 in the last quarter of last year and first quarter of this year. So there's ups and downs, but India is 365 days of the year. So there are some people who plan 6 months ahead, but there are a lot of people in India plan like 2 days before because it's next door. You can take a ferry, or maybe Mumbai or Delhi is like 3-4 hours away. It's very easy, and then along with, I'm pretty sure Tisumi is going to add to this as well. India has been the key #1 market for MICE tourism. I want to add the growth of the MICE sector as well on that.
Is like Shalaka mentioned, is #1 for MICE as well. we have done a lot of campaigns, and even the feedback we get from the industry and the corporates is really good. And adding on to what Chalaka said, the development in India, like as I mentioned before, the Halali airport, the Jaffna is a smaller airport. It started operation after 3 decades. A direct flight from Chennai to Colombo. 2 more airlines have filed for landing rights. So, which means the Indian market is growing, and at the same time, the arrivals from India to Sri Lanka is growing. So that's a good sign. And I'm pretty sure like other countries also, like we see a tremendous growth of arrivals from Pakistan, from Bangladesh. We were in Pakistan last year. We did a massive roadshow. And it's nice to see some faces that I met in Pakistan is also here today. So likewise, actually the region is growing, and Sri Lanka is attracting this growing market. So I'm sure things will continue to be good for us. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Perhaps one last question from the audience? Okay, we have the microphone coming to you, madam.
Hello, hi, it's Divya Bhatia from India. You mentioned about a lot of tourism products, which is like cruise tourism and the wellness and all. But you recently also mentioned about the marine tourism. It is a very new segment altogether for most of the markets, especially keeping in mind with the India market. You mentioned you are going to come up with a very comprehensive plan for the same. So where are we standing for that, and how do you plan to educate about this particular segment to the India market, and what kind of business you expect from the same?
Yeah, actually marine tourism is a key category in our market. Like we said, I don't know whether you've seen our presentations before. I'm pretty sure you picked up on one of those. So right now you'll come back for more. The strategy behind you, actually the campaign, the strategy and 360 communication agency, the Ogilvy. You know, Incredible India was done by Ogilvy India. So Sri Lanka, after 15 years, having a proper 360 global campaign. So the DNA with you'll come back more. There's a reason for it. Because 33% of travelers to Sri Lanka are repeat travelers. You know, when you come to Sri Lanka, you fall in love. When you fall in love, that is because I think Shiranta said that, I think Tisu mentioned this as well, because of our hospitality. You know, our 23 million warm hearts, the warm smiles will always, you know, make them feel comfortable. I don't know whether you know, there's a good example. You know, during COVID, when a lot of tourists were stuck in Sri Lanka, our households kept them free of charge in their houses, especially in areas like Allar and places like that. That's why Nasdale came, I think 2-3 years ago to Sri Lanka and did a special video on this. So coming back, then we have to look at the categories. Yes, marine tourism is a very key category. It's not only the water sports we have. There are, like, you know, the new kind of water sports, you know, the kite surfing, windsurfing, and, you know, there are over 140 shipwrecks in the country from the World War and the past. You know, we've been rolled by 3, you know, giants, which is the Dutch, the Portuguese, and the British. So there are a lot of underwater things that we can do. We are coming up with a lot of water programs, water sports programs, underwater programs. So when you look at marine tourism can be also broken into many categories. You know, who goes underwater won't be above water. Who's on above water won't go underwater. Divers are different, kite surfers are different, sky jumpers are different, they dive into the sea. You know, there are so many categories. That's why, you know, my colleagues always, you know, smile at me when I say this line. My one line I will never change because I'm not a politician. I only believe in one line. Sri Lanka is an all-in-one capsule mine in the soul. Yes, India and Bangladesh, all of it had it, but you don't have to take flights. You know, it's a small destination, it's a small capsule, it's a small island. You know, like in Tisum's video, in when he showed Hambantota. From Hambantota, you can go to tea plantations, you can look at wildlife, you can have a cold climate or a cold hot climate, which is a matter of hours. That is Sri Lanka. You know, I always take the example of Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and Harrison Ford, who spent 40 days in Sri Lanka. A lot of people think Indiana Jones and Temple of the Doom were shot in India. No, it was shot in Sri Lanka. So, you know, they call it a studio. So that's why I take this example. So marine tourism can play. You specifically asked about marine tourism. Yes, there are programs and there's a campaign, there are efforts that is going on. After we launch the main category, then we launch the subcategories as well. And India, of course, will be taken up in this digital and PR campaign, taking that forward.
I think Chalaka mentioned about 142 shipwrecks. This is something even I learned very recently. The first ever aircraft carrier which was built by the British during the World War One. They couldn't complete it, then they used it in World War Two. It sunk in Sri Lanka. So it's something to actually experience. I mean, if there are any divers, if you have any clients that were interested, I think that's something very interesting. The first ever aircraft carrier was sunk in Sri Lanka. So. Yeah, 500 sailors, yes. Recently, they actually, I think there was a memorial service or something completed 50, yes, that's correct, yeah. So, yeah, it's very interesting.
All right, thank you very much. Well, with that, I'll now move into the final question, which is for Mr. Krishanta Fernando. As you know, he is General Manager for Sri Lanka Convention Bureau. Now, let's meet in Sri Lanka. That's the tagline for SLCB. So for all of our guests who are here from abroad, can you tell them how SLCB can assist them when they host their international events here? What is the support you can provide them so they can have a memorable and a seamless experience?
Thank you. Thank you, Krishna. I think my chairman addressed what assistance we provide. If you go to our website www.meetthesrilanka.com, it clearly identifies. But it's not one shoe fits all. So if you all have anything particular that you want from us, please let us know and we'll work with you and we get it done. But only thing we request is any DMC or PC or P or whoever you select, they have to be registered with Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority. If they are not registered, then we cannot work with them. So please, if there's any queries, please write to us. Right? We are always there. You can WhatsApp us, you can write to us, we'll respond within fastest as we could. Please select a DMC or whoever it is, register with the CTD, and we'll do anything. We'll turn up, we'll do everything we can possibly to make sure your event is successful. Thank you.
Thank you. And so with that, we bring this discussion to a close. Thank you very much for sharing with us your perspective and insights. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a huge round of applause for our panelists once
Let's I hate to say this, but the South Asians here make some noise. It's easy to say. They are dominating the dancers. So put your hands in the air. Alright, put your hands in the beat. Come on, here we go. He makes the beat. He's on the left page.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to welcome in our midst our Honorable Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Sri Lanka is here with us. Can we please put our hands together as we welcome our Minister? Thank you so much, sir, for joining us here tonight. Of course, we will have the pleasure of hearing the Minister address us tomorrow at the opening ceremony, but for now, we invite him to enjoy the evening with us. Thank you very much for your presence, sir.
And tomorrow he will address, but today he might sing. You never know. Mamma mia. But if I'm going to do the ABBA song, you'd like to see more ladies on the dance floor. Sri Lankans, I will be a little disappointed. Because all these people are from Sri Lanka and they are here. You have got all these people from all